Hello everyone, my name is Fesi Gavna. Welcome to my channel, and with this video I'm going to take you through how to with this video I'm taking you through the basics of Adobe 2022 Photoshop, and you can download Adobe Photoshop from ask.pc.net. I'll keep the link in my description in case you want to download. And before we start, please kindly subscribe, like and comment under my comment section, and I'll be ready to respond to whatever you don't understand. So I think we have to start Photoshop. This is my Photoshop I've already downloaded, and at ask.pc.net it gives you a pre-activated Photoshop app that you don't need to pay or use a trial version of it. But in case you have money to purchase that, straight away you can go to Adobe the official site to purchase the Photoshop. So let's start Photoshop. Let's start. So this is how it opens 2022 Photoshop that I downloaded from ask4pc.net. So let's wait for Photoshop. Yeah, Photoshop is here. So this is probably the first page you are getting after opening the Photoshop, and I don't think, no, this is not the first page for the first time, because I've already done a lot of works with Photoshop. That's why it's opening like this, because it's showing my recent. So recent, these are the rest I've done with Photoshop. So I think with yours it will open with create new. For the first time, create new, and this is the output of the creating. This is what it shows. It gives you samples, a size, orientation that you want or may want to use, a suggestion from Photoshop. But because it's your first time basics, I can't take you through much deep, or not to make things worse for you. Let's go straight away by using the default settings of Photoshop. So I think with Photoshop they will give you the orientation sizes, the kind of size you want to use for Photoshop. And Photoshop, I use mine. Basically may have other works it does, but with me I use Photoshop for editing my videos, making flyers, making logos for my clients. So let's leave it like that as it is. I think the only part we want or may want to touch is the untitled. That is where you want to rename the project so you can easily find it in your file. So tutorials, I rename it to tutorial. Then just close to it, your right hand side, a box with a logo, a sign showing down. That is the particular file you may want to save in, or you want to save as a preset. Yes, so this is the tutorial. We leave everything as it is, then we go straight to OK or create. So after opening, this is what you are getting. This is your front page. Photoshop, my first time I opened it, I was like, whoa bro, what is this? But as far as time goes on, you only have to be dedicated, motivated to work with Photoshop, and believe you me, you are going to make a lot out of Photoshop. So this is your first time opening Photoshop. This is the layout. This is what you are getting, everything about Photoshop. Wait, let me think. This one is not part for now. So this is Photoshop. You have your file, edit, image, layer. As far as time goes on, you're going to know a lot about it. Probably it shows there are the tools here that you may find in here, a lot of them in here. So basically I have to skip. File shows new, opening of work, already done work. New is when you want to start, like we just did. Have the bridge where you want to open in a PGN or exported files or saved works with Photoshop that you want to see with images. That's where I go to, and you close all, generate, export, and those stuff. So this is basically the layout for your first time in Photoshop. And I think here your home, if you want to go back where we came from, where we got the suggested orientations of those stuff, you have your tool. Basically after opening for the first time, this is what I get it. That is the move to, that is the default. So this is Photoshop. Your deep left hand side are basically the tools you are going to use for your edits. The left hand side here, they are mostly the tools you are going to use, and your right hand side are the layers, the colors you are going to take samples from when working. So let's go straight. This one is move to as opening. Photoshop will already give you a suggestion or a clue of its function. So the move to is when you want to move a layer in your work. So that is the move tool. And with the move tool, it also has other tools. So that's artboard tool. I'm even here to use myself, because the move tool is easy to use than to go straight getting a lot of things that was going to confuse you along the way. So I used to move to, and to get to know more or the other tools in the move to, you just have to go straight to the point, the arrow there, straight to the tool, then you right click. That is when you are getting the tools. You right click, it will give you the tools or other tools of move. So with move to, knowing that is when you want to move, it's used for moving objects in Photoshop. So we have the rectangular marquee tool. That is when you want to select with a particular shape. That's when you want to select an object in a shape form. Like I said, you go straight just to the point on it. To get the other tools of it, you right click, you have the rectangular marquee tool, the elliptical, the single row marquee, and the single column marquee. They all comes in shape. So in case you want to select a shape, select an object in shape, this is the right tool. And you go away from that, come out. So this is also the object tool, where you want to click select an object, you have the object tool there. And it's also other tools. That's the quick selection tool. That's when you are making that yourself. So with the object selection tool, I think Photoshop is going to select the object for you based on its knowledge or program with the way it's being programmed. So basically it's good, but it won't give you 100% select of the particular object you want. Mostly sometimes it does based on the picture quality or the object, how the object is far way different from the other objects in the work. So basically I use the quick tool, then later edit it with I use the object select tool, then later re-edit them with the quick selection tool. So I think that is it. So that is for the object selection tool. And we have the crop tool. The crop tool is when you want to crop a picture in Photoshop. Let's say the orientation is bigger, or you want to cut some part of your work out of the already project you are making. That is the crop tool. And we come to frame tool. Frame tool is where you want to import or fix another object into your work. And let's say you have, like it's been suggested here, you have a cup of tea, then you want to replace the tea inside the cup with a C or anything like that. You just select, you use this tool, you click on it, you select, then you go and bring in the other object you want to fix into the object. So here is your eyedrop. Your eyedrop tool is also a tool basically where you want to change a color or copy a color of a project into a shape or anything. Let's say I have a shape which is yellow, and with the yellow I want, we have categories of yellow, orange, and those stars, but you are not getting the right yellow type you want, and you have another object that is just sampling the right color you want. You just use the eye tool, you take from it and then come and paste to get the particular yellow color you want, just like it's been showing here. So even with the Photoshop 2022, it will give you clues about how to use it. Then we have the tool, that's the healing tool, where let's say you want to edit a photo in Photoshop, and the person may be suffering from acne, or not say acne, it may have some unwanted parts in the picture where you want to heal. You just have to come here to the heal tool to take that part out of your work. Then we come to the brush tool. The brush tool basically comes with, someone may say, why is it brush and this is what is appearing? You can change the brush tool. They have different types of brushes, the smooth, rough. You can even download some straight away, then use them. So I'll be going through that. That is brush tool used for brushing, like not say brushing, painting. Basically brush is used for either your teeth or painting a house and those stuff. So that is brush tool. So in case you want to make some color changes on your work, this is brush tool. Then we have clone stamp tool. So the clone is where you have an object in your project or your work that you want to duplicate or clone it in the same worksheet, that is the clone tool. So you will select the clone and then clone, then you, at the other end where you want to paste it, just go straight away and paste it. So that is the clone tool. So clone, so that is the clone tool. It also so like I was saying, you have the pencil tool, the brush tool, the color replacement tool. It all have others, so you just have to click on. But basically the most ones you are going to use are the ones the Photoshop have already suggested. So with the healing tool, you have the healing brush tool, patch tool. The patch tool is where, let's say you have a picture and you want to replace it with another part. Let's say there's a building, a picture of a building, and some part is worn or neat and some part is a bit of dirty, but you want to replace. You can use the patch tool. With the patch tool, so let me click on to get the inside. So just like it's showing, the patch tool, you want to take it out. So just like it did, this is part 2. Then we come to the brush tool. The brush tool, I think I've talked about it. The brush tool, we have the pencil tool, color replacement tool. So that is it. And I've talked about clone. Clone also has the pattern stamp clone. I think even with Photoshop 2022, you are going to get a lot about it. So this is it. So I think after explaining all this, I'll be making a project with this so you get easy how it's being functioned or how it's being done. So I think that is the clone. And this one is the history brush tool. That's a brush tool. After making changes with a brush and you want to, in case unexpectedly you deleted or you use the brush at a point or a part of your work where you want to undo or redo, that is the brush tool. It's going to, it will give you all the activities done with brush. Then you select the particular one that you didn't want to have effect on your work, then you take it out. So this one is the eraser tool. Eraser tool is where you want to clear out a particular part or work done with your brush, be it brush or even with a picture or anything exported into Photoshop where you want to delete it or erase it from your work. That is erase tool. So you use that. And this one is the gradient tool. The gradient tool is what I was talking about, where you want to make a double colors in let's say you have a shape and you don't want a solid color on it, but you want double 2 or more colors on the shape. That is when you use gradient tool. So you go back more into the gradient tool. Then you have the blur tool, where you want to blur a part of your work, just like it's been shown in the blur tool. And we have the dodge. The dodge is also used to brighten some parts of your work. So we have the pen tool. The pen tool, I think even with it we can't do a lot with it now. We will have to skip it because it will be in another tutorial. It's a whole work on its own. So we have the test tool. The test tool, where you want to test. The test tool, that is when you want to make a test in your work. That is the test tool. We'll come more into it. So this one too is your part selection. In case you have a part selection, you made shapes and you want to rearrange them, that is where you use the part selection. Then you come to the ellipse tool. The ellipse tool is also giving you shapes. This is particular here is for shapes. So you have the rectangle tool, ellipse tool, triangle, polygon, line, custom. Yes, that is where you want to get a shape, so you can select one. Then here is the shape. So I think rotate view, where you want to rotate your work, rotate anything in your project. Then the zoom, that is when you want to zoom in or zoom out to make some corrections or edit in your work. That is the zoom tool. Then editing toolbar, I think the editing toolbar ends here. So editing toolbar, those hidden tools that you didn't find here, you can find them in the editing toolbar. So you click on the editing toolbar. So I think this is how it's been arranged by default by Photoshop. And in case you want to add in something, here is the editing tool, or you want to rearrange them, you can do it here. So this is your editing tool. Then we come here to set foreground color. So by default, in case you want to create a shape, you create a shape, the color that will be coming in, if you want it yellow or you want it black, or you can set them here just like I did earlier. So I can change it to red, so it will become red and black. By default is by white, black and white. Yeah, so let's see it like that. So I think let's make a project to get things started, so you know more about it too. So with this project, let's say we want to let's okay, so let me first export. So I think let me come straight here, just at the right. This is the history, the things you've done with Photoshop. That is history. This one is comments. In case you like to make your work easy, you can leave comments as far as time goes on to make things simple. This one is your properties. The properties will talk about the project that you are doing, anything about the project. So here is your brush to brush settings, where you can make changes to your brushes, the kind of brush you want to use. Then this one is also brushes, the particular type of brush you want to use. Then you have a character, that is the text after inputting a text where you want to make edits. Then this one is a paragraph where you want to change them, the orientations where you want them, align left, align right, center, justification, those stuff. So those are there comes, and they are all, these ones I added them myself because I mostly use them. So we want to let's make a simple, is it flyer, okay, test or anything like that. So let's go straight to them with the tools, how to use them. So I think okay, channels, parts. Basically, after importing anything, or anytime you make or apply something into Photoshop, basically they will appear here, background. So background is always the default background, like we have here. It's locked because we don't want it, Photoshop don't want it to be moving to prevent your work being hard or those stuff. But you can also unlock it by double clicking on your left mouse, then you click OK. Yes, that is it. So after that you can move it, but because we don't have anything here, let's import is Control O, or you can come to file, open recent. These ones are the works I've already done. So new, open, so Control O, like I did, open. So it took me to a particular folder because I've already made folders for it. And if you want to select more than one files or picture into Photoshop, you just have to click on your control, then use your mouse to click the particular pictures you want to export into Photoshop. After doing that, you click on OK. So they will all appear, but then they won't appear directly into your work. They also appear as a new work, as it's on new sheet. And to move them, like I did here, you just have to double click OK, then I think V, go back to move. Now this is where you use the move. So clicking on move to, you can move straight away to your work. So I think I have the picture here, I have the move to, yes, I've moved into my picture. I no more need it, so I will delete out to get space. So now I want to move. Another way to move or unlock a background or a picture where you want to move into another worksheet, you can also left click, use convert to smart object. And with smart object, I think smart object is not purposely for this work. Smart object is when you want to resize a picture or anything you've exported, but then it's not losing its quality, so you can change it to a different orientation. But as far as it's at smart tool is applied to it, the quality is always going to stay the same. So smart tool, you can move back, then we take it here to our work, then we take it out. So after getting them, I think they all appear here, like I said, layer 1, layer 2, and you can, the eye closer to it is when you want to put it hidden or hidden. If I click on it, I did, after left clicking on it, the Chelsea picture, the transfer players of Chelsea players, they all got hidden. So I can do same to Cristiano Ronaldo, and I can click on it again for them to appear. So you can move them by left clicking and moving, dragging them to the particular order where you want them. So this one will come first, And I think with the layers, the one on top is always the one showing. So the one on top is always the one showing. So in case I want to move Cristiano Ronaldo up front again, I'll just left click, then move upwards like this, then he comes up again. So that is it. So Ronaldo is here. So that is for the move to. Now let's come to the, okay, I think with the rectangle too, I'll still need this picture, so one have to show. So with the rectangular marquee tool, I think I want to select an object. Like I said, I can use circle, I can use the single row, I can use the single column, but let's use the rectangular. So with the rectangular, that's it. So that is when I select the object. And if in case I want to move, I will have to come down here. We have the add a layer, there's the empty layer, like this one is add layer. Then we have a mask to add a layer mask where you want to make an edit in a particular layer, then also keep the original layer. So in case of anything, you can just reference to it or delete the applied layer on the particular layer. So that is it. We have the create new fill or adjustment where you want to make new color fills in a particular shape or two. We have the create new group. So with the group, the shortcut is Ctrl G. So let's say with the group, I'll come to it again. So with the group, where you want to arrange your work so that you don't get confused along the way, you can create groups where you can put in your pictures, your text, and any other thing you are doing in your layer, because anything you apply on your Photoshop are all going to appear here. And to prevent them from mixing up, you can create a group, then put them in as in order. So let's say, let me create group 1, another group. So with this group, if you want to rename, just on the name, double click, left double click. So let's say I'm making it pics, that's where I'm taking my pictures, and this one to test, where I'll be taking my test. So after getting these groups, I think you can get another group in a group in another group, that's if you want, but basically I just make them all up front here. So if I want to select control, select doubles, that's like I said, control, left click, then after also you leave the control and drag them straight into the folder you want. So I'm keeping them in my pics. That's the simple, you have a simple sign showing up and down anytime in case the folder is open or not. So to hide them, I just do this. So when it shows the sign is it greater than? Yes, when it's greater than, I think meaning the files in the folder is closed, and if it shows down, meaning you've opened the file to see the layers in it. So that is it. So Control D, or if you want to deselect the selected shape, you just have to come to select. You have the inverse. The inverse is where it will rather do the opposite of what you've done. So deselect for now. So I think you have it. Now with the text to, shortcut for text is T. So let's say I want to make a text, and before we go to the text, I think let's go back to note. You can hide the folder also after hiding, and with the folder, although you can put on heading of all the works in your folder, but then as far as you click on the eye, anything in the folder will be hidden, though they will be showing just like here, but they are in a particular folder and the folder is hidden, so they won't be shown. So let's come back to test. Like I was saying, test tutorials. So this is tutorials, like I was saying. So tutorials, I think I left the T. So the tutorials, here is it. And if you want to make a changes in the font type in it, you have to highlight or select, or you can use Ctrl A to select. Then you come up here, mine is married, that is Married Pro. You have other options here with the fonts, the Photoshop is going to give you a lot of fonts to choose from. You can choose the black teal or anything, then it will apply straight away to it. And with most of the fonts, some comes with italics, bold, then like the Married Pro that I was using. Married Pro has a regular italic, bold, and bold italic. So if I choose bold, it's going to bold. You see the font is changing. the italic, a big size. So let's leave it at bold. Then if you want to increase the size, the font size, here are these, you can put it to 60, put it to 60. That's it. So let's put it at 60. So this one is all about the text, and like I said, anytime you key in or enter or choose anything in Photoshop, I think I told you it will appear here in the layers. So to make it simple, like I've made a folder for text, I'll just left click on it and drag into my text folder. So it will be in my text folder now. So like I was saying, this is say tutorials, and if you want to change the color, shortcut T, Control A, or you select by going to one side, far side of your work, your text, then you highlight by dragging by selecting to the other end to select it also. If I want to change the color, this is the color I can take. So with the eyedrop, I think you can even do an eyedrop here, so you can select the particular color you want. So let's say red is okay, and if you want to change the position of your text, you can, because it's just a single word. Even if I do this, you can put it at center, align left, align right. So basically it's also the function of it. And if I come here, these are the other tools I'm getting about it. You see the things I did here on top here, those are also here. That's the character, that's the changes you want to make. If you want to put them small, it is large, and those stuff. So here I think they all comes with their names, and the paragraph is where I choose the center, and those stuff, that ones are also here. So that one is for the text. And let's say this is for the text. Let's go to another tool. Let's go to shape. So Control G here to create a group, Control G, like I said. So if I want to create another group, let me hit this one. So I want to create another group, so Control G, I'm having another group, because it came group 1 because I've already renamed the other folders. That's why this one's coming again as group 1. So shape, like I said, left double click on the name to rename, then after enter. So this one I'm choosing shapes. So here is my shape tool. By default it is giving me my rectangle, so let's use rectangle. I can use rectangle. So rectangle, you see it's opening the properties of the particular shape I'm doing. Like I said earlier, it's showing here. Then the other functions of the shape, how you want to change the color, strokes, and anything about it. So the fill in it is rather black, so I'll change it to orange or red, as some may say. And this one is stroke. The stroke is the edges, the size of the stroke. Let me take it to black so that we can identify the strokes in my shape. So let me increase the size of my stroke. Let me take it to, you can also edit it. So let me take to 15 to identify my stroke. And this one is the width and the size, width and height of the shape. This is basically where they are showing. So that is my shape too. So V to prevent anything happening to my shape, V to just put it at a move to. So this is my first shape. Let me create another shape with ellipse too. So circle, ellipse or circle, some may say. So it will probably come with the default settings of the old one or the recent made shape, although they will come in different shapes, but then the same color, the same stroke size, and those stuff, they are the ones that are going to be applied on your new shape. So with that one too, I can click OK. Then to prevent making duplicates, I just click V so that it will go back to the move tool here. So the move tool, basically that is where you have to leave your settings at. So the move tool, so you don't get yourself in messing about in your worksheet. So that is the shape tool. And what again? Shape tool. Let's go back to the patch and those stars. So object select. Now let's come back to object select. I have an object here that I want to select. I just click on it. Photoshop is going to work. The minutes it may take may depend on the strength of your PC or the hard drive, the RAM in your PC, that is when. So mine didn't take long because I have some kind of high specs. So selecting the two, I can select this one too, and with the other options there, let it finish loading. So you see it's selected, but I didn't select right, like I was saying earlier. So you can choose to quick selection to here. You can either add or minus. So let me change the size because I already have a small. Enter. So minus is when you take some out, some of the selections out, and add is when you add some part of the selections to it. So you see it's based on my brush size is the reason why it is doing that. So that is for the selection. And the crop tool, where I want to crop some part of my work, you see you can crop. So let's say I crop to here, you see the signs here, reset, the cancel the crop and commit to the current crop setting. So I click OK, meaning this is what I'm getting, but I can redo them by just coming to redo, yes, coming to edit, redo crop, or Control Z. And if you want to deselect too, you can come to select, where you have your deselect inverse. So unlike I was talking to the inverse, I think a picture will do. So let me deselect all them. And if you want to put your work may move based on what you are doing or zooming. So if you want to readjust them back, you can use Control plus zero, or the bracket facing the greater than like bracket to bring back your work to the center, your worksheet to the center. Or with the zoom tool, you can use Control then minus to reduce, that's the zoom out, and the zoom in is the Control plus. You can go far. So to prevent them, to make it back to set default, you just click on the Control 0, then it will put you back. That's also the zoom option. So I think this one's on shape. So let's get back to let me hide Cristiano Ronaldo. So let's get to patch tools, polygonal laser tool. I think I talk about laser. Laser is also for selecting objects. By this time you are selecting based on your, this time you are not using shapes like you are using in a market. This time you are drawing to select your shape that you want. So let's take a sample. I want to select the head of João Felix. I just click and hold my left mouse side, then drag to the end. So this is what I'm getting. So that is basically the function of them. But mostly I use the quick selection tool to make things simple for me. So Control Z or Control Z is undo, or Control D is to deselect what you've selected. Then V to move to, so I don't mess around. So let's choose the patch. So here with the patch tool, that's the patch tool. I think before you can work on a patch tool, you have to rasterize the layer. So I think the layer is already, yeah, it's a smart object. Is it a smart object? Nope. So rasterizing, I think I want to change a part of here of my work, then sample it to another part here. You see, that is the part 2. Now I'm having the chest of João Felix with the face of Modric. So that is currently the part 2, where you want to take some part of your work, the same work, into another corner of your work. That is the part 2. So to undo it, Control Z and Control D to deselect. That is the part 2. Then we have the healing tool, the healing spot tool. I don't think I have anything here that I'll have to heal. Let's say Control plus, zoom in. Then João Felix, I think there's some acne like picture. So with the healing tool, I can select, just click on it and it's going to heal. That's the healing tool. You see it's taking out those black spots. But the more you do, the more your work becomes a bit editable. People may see that this work is edited and those stuff, so you may want to leave some part of the healing too. You can normal, replace, multiple, and those styles. Those are the styles. So you can reduce it, the size, the hardness of the healing. So the hardness, you can reduce it to, though it will take the black spot out, but it won't take it totally out to make it look like it's the real picture. So that is for the healing too. So V again to move to. Now let's go Control 0 to bring back position my work, like I said earlier. Then what again? I think we've done a lot about the shape. So let's go to gradient. With the gradient, you will need a shape. We will need a shape again, so we have to hide the picture. Then we come back to the shapes. The shapes, because it's not moving because I've not selected in the layer, so I'll have to come to their folders, tutorials. This one is test. Then come to shape. So shape here, let me take the rectangular shape. Now it's moving because I've now come to select. But you can also make a settings here where it will auto select, but mostly the auto select might cause you a lot of trouble afterwards, because selecting it might select another work again to make it complicated. So mostly the best option to do is to just click on the particular layer or the image you may want to move along, then you move it to prevent it moving another object again. So here is it. That's my shape. If I want to edit it, I'll come back here again. So if I want to readjust, I just click on the shape again to readjust it, so I can increase the size of the shape too. Now the circle one is showing because it is in front, it is up. Anything up is what shows first in Photoshop worksheet. So if my shape 2 is showing behind because it is under, or it comes before the ellipse 2. So to prevent that, V again, you can just come here and click on the ellipse 2, then drag it down to the rectangular. Now you see it's hiding, so we have it hidden behind the rectangular 2. Now let's come back to the rectangular 2. Now let's choose the gradient. Now here is the gradient. It opens its menu here. That's the partition or the type or the percentages of the color that may show if you want to choose the gradients. Now the gradient is not showing because I'll have to add a max of it to, because I'm going to make a sample of what I'm about to do now. So you add a max to it. Later you can delete the max from it to get the original color again. So I'm selecting. Now it's changing because this is what is changing. So this is by default the original color, and the applied one is this side. That's why it's showing some ash. So that is gradient, where you want to get multiple colors in a particular shape or a picture. That is my shape. Now it looks like a shadow, like then it's coming. So this is the sun. Let's see, here is darkness, then darkness is showing. So probably you can make the changes here also by selecting for the gradient. So let's say gradient. So by default, if I should do another gradient, that is how it's going to appear, but let's keep the white and black. So this is it. So the original is the black, and the applied is the white. So that is it. So let's say the red is your darkness, and the sun is shining towards it, so it taking some part of it, because probably light is going to take a place of darkness. So this is how come I'm getting this shape. So undo. Now I'm getting back my solid color. That's for gradient. What again? So with the eraser tool, I think I will need a test. We come back to the test. So let me hit this one and come back to test. Shape 2. Now let's come back to the test here. That is my test. So with the test, I think the reason why the text was not showing was that although the folder was not hidden, but then the main content or the text in it was hidden. That's why it wasn't showing. So that's it. Upon hiding it, now I want to erase a part of this work here. So I think you have to rasterize it. So after rasterizing, or you can add a mask to it and later delete. So there are two options. It's either without rasterization, you can't edit. That's the sign showing us no, you can edit. You can also add after adding the marks, you see it's appearing again. So if I want to erase something, just straight away I delete. Now this is the original work, that's the original work, and this is the applied. So if I want to delete the applied, I just click on delete. Now I'm back to default settings. That's showing the tutorials. And with the reason why I will prefer Max 2 is that with the Max 2 you can go back straight away to your work, but after choosing rasterization, that's it. You only have to come and find back your work at history, and history may also take some part of your work away because you might have done something before making the eraser and those stars, and you're going to lose that. But with the Max 2 you can come straight away to the particular layer and delete that particular part of it. So you can choose rasterization or you can choose mask to do that. So mask is going to hide behind the object, the particular object that you are doing, then add another effect to that same particular object. That's particularly the function of the mask too, as I was saying. So that is the erase tool. Then I think I've done enough. Or okay, so with the selection tool, let's come back to the selection tool. The selection tool, I think I'll need a picture. I think Ronaldo as only will be okay. So Ronaldo, so let me select Control T. That is when you want to make Control T, edit the size of it, so now we come back to the smart object. With the smart object, here is the case I have to readjust or resize the picture of Cristiano Ronaldo to suit my page or my worksheet. So with this, if it wasn't a smart object, meaning I was going to lose some quality of this picture, but because it's a smart object, it's going to keep the orientation, the resolution of this picture as it is. So let's let me export another Cristiano Ronaldo. Let me hide this one, open Control O, then select Cristiano Ronaldo, which is going to open at another page. So I can add move to convert to smart object to make it movable, or you just double click and save. So I want to mark Cristiano Ronaldo. We come back to quick selection to select object. So it's probably going to select Cristiano Ronaldo for me. It won't be the best, maybe if I leave some part of it, then you come back. That sometimes it may get you the right or the 100% selection that you may want, or sometimes it won't based on the resolution. Now Cristiano Ronaldo, the colors and the background colors are a bit different, that's why it's making the right selection for me. So there's no need to go back, going to the quick selection to readjust. So I just want to keep Cristiano Ronaldo as it is because I think the system have already made the right selection for me. So here I'll come down here, then click on max. After max, now because I selected Cristiano Ronaldo, it's hiding the background of the picture, then giving me the particular object I selected, that is Cristiano Ronaldo. So if I want to move Cristiano Ronaldo only, V again, or you come back here, top here, and click on move to. So now it's movable, though it's moving with the background, but because I've maxed it, the background is now hidden. So I can take Cristiano Ronaldo straight away to my work. Now here's Cristiano Ronaldo without a background. So that's particularly the function of the selection tool. So the selection tool, I think with the marquee tool and those style, this time it's selecting shapes. The marquee tool selects in shapes. The laser tool is where you want to draw on a particular object, then select. So I think with the selection tool, the marquee, the lasso, and the quick selection may all work with the same function. So I think that one is the selection tool. Now I have Cristiano Ronaldo here. It came straight away into my pictures layer because I had previously selected a picture folder before opening another page. That's why it came straight away. And if you want to move it out, you can just select and click it outside and drag it outside the group. So I drag it, and because I brought it way down, it's not showing again because Photoshop will always show objects or images or things selected in your layer based on upfront. I don't know whether it's upfront. It probably shows pictures or layers from the top. So Cristiano Ronaldo, the max one is just the last one. So if I can see it, I'll have to hide everything up or everything that comes after Cristiano Ronaldo layer before I can see it again. Now I'm seeing it again because I've hidden every object or every layer above it. So I can just click on the eye, drag top to show all. I can that is also another way of doing it. You can just click, then drag to unhide or hide everything by just drag and going upwards or downwards with the particular effect selected. So that is it again. So I can also drop Cristiano Ronaldo back to the group, and Cristiano Ronaldo will be in the group, but because the group is hidden, it's no more showing, so shapes should then hit group here again to see Cristiano Ronaldo showing. Then I can put in the group. You can also reach in, move, make rearrangements. You can put it layer before another layer where you see it's hidden because the bigger Cristiano Ronaldo with the background is now on top of the one with the masked one, so you can unhide it to see the other one, or you can bring it up here again. Then now it's here without a background, that's why the previous one is showing. So here is Cristiano Ronaldo, that's the selected Cristiano Ronaldo or object and the actual image. So these are them. Then what to again, I think we've talked about the healing to the image. I don't think I have a particular image here. Okay, then we have another option like snap into let me open this folder, let me hide this one. So I can, with the shape, where are my shapes? So with the shape I can put this one here. Okay, so I can, to duplicate anything in your layer, you can right click, there's the duplicate option, or you can choose control control J to make a duplicate of it. Now I want to move that duplicated file into my images because I want to make a snap of it, so I can hide this one. So that's it. So with this one I want to put, let me put it back here. So this is it. I want to put Cristiano Ronaldo into my shape. So snap, I think, what is the actual name? I've been using shortcut a lot, so I quite have hard times mentioning the names. So that is it. Convert to something. So Alt, clicking on Alt, I'm going to snap this picture into the shape, so it's now in. So it will be, the picture will now be limited to the constraints or the edges of the selected shape. So now Cristiano Ronaldo is in my rectangular shape now, and you can readjust it. Then you can also click on the shape, so depending on where the image can also move. Now you can move, and to move them to, you can double click on two, then control, then you click on both to move them at a go. That's it, so they can move along the same time. Then I think, what again, let me Alt, then click to cancel the snap into, so I can delete back the shape. So I think that is it. And what again, the clone. I don't think I have a smart. So clone. Let me try whether I may work here. So clone smart object. I want to clone. So clone. It won't work because the object is way bigger and I couldn't select. So let me clone. So clone. It's not working. I wish I had a bigger picture to help you make the clone. So let's keep the clone you won't even use, because it's even my first time using a clone. I hardly use clone, and to prevent those stars I just have to come and delete the mask from it. Now you see it's clone Cristiano Ronaldo just here. It's working, it's clone, but clone is not that needed. So let's come back. Let's go back to history to prevent the clone from having effects on our work. So let's come back to move then. So that is it. Then brush tool. With the brush tool, that is when you want to make paints or apply colors to your work. So I think Cristiano Ronaldo rasterize, and I'll increase the size of my brush tool. Then brush tool, we have hardness, types of color, the types of brush you may want to use. These ones I downloaded them. The hardness of the brush, but basically they would say to make it that smooth you just have to remove the hardness. Some may keep it at 100, some may keep it at 0, but basically I mostly keep my brush to the hardness at 0. So that is it. It is painting in black because that is the one selected here. You can click on X, that's a shortcut to switch to white. You see it's changing to white. So you can add in colors. I can put it at red. It's painting in red. You can add this one to ash, a bit of ash. So brown, I see. So it's also switched. So it's also painting. And you can control D to undo, or then this one to just click on top here to put them back to default settings. So V again to move. So I think we may have to end the tutorials here. I know we've learned a lot, and wait, no, we can't end it. Here is the brightness. In a situation where you want to readjust the brightness of the picture here, you can just do it here. You can also click on set auto. Basically most of the times I use the auto because the auto gives you the quality you may want to use, because you are not an expert in choosing brightness for a particular picture. So most basically I use the auto and stuff. So these are for pictures, works on pictures, making a flyer or making an edit on pictures. Basically these are where you are going to use. So these tools are for making pictures, changes in pictures, and they are all going to appear here. So these are them. And what again, so if you want to save, you can click on Ctrl S. That is when you want to save on your computer or iCloud. I think I want to save on my computer for now. So computer, to open your hard drive and the particular place you may want to save. Here I have a samples here, so I can save it as my samples. So maximum okay, you can put it as don't show again to prevent it from happening again. So this one is rather telling you that turning off maximum compatibility may interfere with the use of PSD and PSV files in other applications and those stuff. So to prevent the quality or the losing some part of the content of your work, you just have to keep the maximize capability on, then put as don't show again. So maybe later you may not want to change your mind again on it, so click on OK. So that is it. And if this time around it has saved as a project that I can open again, so I can close Photoshop right now because I've saved. Now I can come back again to Photoshop. Let's open Photoshop where I want to open back the tutorial where it will be opening soon. Photoshop, now it's opening. Photoshop is opening. So Photoshop is a good app. It helps you a lot. I'll be coming. Stay. That's why I want you to subscribe to my channel, because I will be bringing a lot. I have FL Studio. I can put you a tutorial on FL Studio. I have Adobe Premiere. I'll be putting you on soon. So watch out for my next video. That will be tutorial on Adobe Premiere. But let's stick with Photoshop for now. So with Photoshop, basically, these are the recent. It's actually showing the recent file I just saved and the recent folders and pictures that I've opened. So to go straight, they will give you it straight away, so there's no need to go back to the file or folder to go and click it again. Just click it here. Now it will be opening So that is it, and it will come with its layers and everything that you did with it. But in case you want to save them as a picture or an outcome that you may send to your customer or a client or the person who ordered you for the work, you just have to go to your file, that's the save as option. So save on your computer again. By this time you click on the save as type, then you can choose the particular type, that's Photoshop PSD. You can change it to PDF, TIFF and those stuff. But this time I want to save as a picture. So save as export. Now here are they export as quick PNG, export as. So the export as, you can change to GP, that's the picture, or GIF. Now these are so this one is the project. Basically when you save a file or a project in Photoshop, that is the name PNG. If you want it in picture, just choose the GPG, or if you want it in a GIF, you just choose the GIF. That's the like emotion or a video like. So you can cancel because I'm not, or you may want to choose save in the web format where it can be, photo will be well uploaded or be accepted without losing its resolution or anything like that. So you just click on shift, you put your hands on shift control alt, shift plus control plus alt plus X to give you a web view. Now if you want your work to be at center, I said control plus O. Now the work is at center. So basically if you use this one, now this is the outcome of what you're about to save. So you can choose the GPE, you can put the maximum, you can put it at low, very high, mostly you put it at maximum to get the best out of the picture. Then you can blur some parts of it, the quality and those stuff. You can name it here also. So now after everything, just click on save, and it's going to save and give you the outcome of this picture. But with this one, it's a tutorial. I didn't make a specific work on that, so I'll just cancel, and I'll be coming along how to make flyers, how to edit pictures. So basically these are the tools in Photoshop and what you may want to do with Photoshop. So I think we have to draw the curtains close here. My name is Chrissy Gabner, as I said, and if you liked my tutorial or you had some part of it hidden that you didn't understand, just leave it in the comment section and like and subscribe. Kindly subscribe because I'll be coming with more and a lot of tutorials if you are interested. Thank you. May end it here. Goodbye. See you another time in my next tutorial. Thank you. Kindly subscribe. Thank you.